section 5.4, we're going to do a little bit different strategy. We just learned in 5.3 how to solve using proportions. Great way to solve it. There are other ways besides proportions. We can actually set up an equation not involving proportions, but just a regular straight up equation. So that's our strategy. We're in example 1, finding part of a whole. And here's our scenario. A hairdryer costs $22. The sales tax rate is 4.9%. Find the amount of sales tax. Okay? So whenever you go to a store or you go to a restaurant, the price in the menu, you pay that price. But your bill is going to be higher. Why? Because of tax. And different areas you go to will have different tax rates. Okay? So I think in our area we're either at 7.5% or 8%. I can't remember where we are, but that's a normal tax rate for New Hanover County. Okay? You go to Orlando, Florida, and their tax rate is higher. You go to areas of the country where you're going to go visit either a theme park or a historical site. Those areas tend to have a little bit higher tax rate. Okay? So what they're doing is they're tacking on a little bit more money on top of what you're already going to pay. Well, we want to buy a hairdryer. So right off the bat, we know we're paying at least how much money? $22. That's how much it is. Okay? We're not going to walk out of the store only paying $22. We're going to tack on a little bit more, 4.9% to be precise. Okay? We want to figure out what part of our whole amount, which is $22, that's going to be our whole, what part of that is going to end up being 4.9%. Okay? So the easiest way to figure this out, anytime you want to find the part of something, you're going to take your percentage and you're going to multiply it to the whole. Okay? That's how you find part of anything. You take your percentage and you multiply it times the whole. Now the percentage, kind of go back in the deeper recesses of your mind, we don't use the percentage number itself when it's in that percent form. We convert it back into its original decimal form. Okay, are you hearing me? We can't use this number 4.9. It's in the wrong form. We can't use the percentage form. We've got to convert it back into its decimal form. Okay, non-percentage form. Now to make a percent, all we do is we move the decimal 2 places to the right. How do we unmake a percent? Move it back 2 places. Okay, so 4.9% is going to become what number? 0.049. And we're going to take 4.9% or 0.049 of however much the hairdryer costs. How much does a hairdryer cost? $22. Okay? So that's what you're literally going to do in your calculator. You're going to multiply the percentage in its decimal form, 0.049 times 22. Okay? So get your calculators up and going. Now, when you're working with money, you have to round to the nearest penny, which is 2 decimal places. You look at the 3rd decimal place and see how it rounds to the 2nd decimal place. So let's look at the number first of all. What is the long number you got on your calculator screen? 1.078. Okay? Now, in terms of dollars and cents, okay, here's your dollar. We know it's $1. We have to look at the 3rd decimal place here and see how it rounds. So how does the 8 round the 7? To 8. It rounds it up. So your sales tax, what they're going to tack on is $1.08. That's going to be your sales tax on top of your hairdryer. That's what they're going to tack on. Okay? Does everybody see that? Okay? Could we have solved this with a proportion? Absolutely. They're asking us for the part. They gave us the whole. We're looking for the part. You could have done your proportion. You could have said x over 22 equals 4.9 over 100. You could have set it up just like that and solved it. So I'm just giving you another way to solve it. Another way. So if I ever want to find the part, all I have to do is take my percentage in decimal form and multiply it times the whole, and I'll find the part every time. Percentage times whole. Percentage times whole. Works every time. That's what part is. Okay? All right, so let's look at the second one underneath. Here's our scenario. A bike costs $195.99 plus 6% for sales tax. Find the amount of sales tax. So we just want to know how much more we're going to have to tack on to the $195.99. Okay? So we're looking for part, because the sales tax is just part of it. Okay? So part, sorry about my pen, all you do is you take your percentage and you multiply it times the whole. Okay? Can I use the number 6 for 6%?
Yeah, no, wait.
I do have to turn it into a decimal form. So what is 6% in its decimal form? 0.06 times, and what's the whole amount? 195.99. Yep, that's the whole amount. That's how much the bicycle costs. Yep, I wasn't quite ready for the answer yet. Okay, what do you do with those two numbers? You multiply them. So 0.06 times $195.99. And read out the long number, Caroline. All right. Now, because we're talking about money, we can't leave our answer like that, okay? So you go out to the third place value and you look at it and you go, okay, how does that affect the 5? It makes it $11.76. That's how much tax is going to be applied to that bicycle. Okay? Well, it's a lot of money too. You're almost at $200. So hopefully that makes a little bit better sense. Okay?
We need some taxation. Whenever I say taxation without representation.
Taxation without representation. Miss Ivy would be so proud of you guys. Okay. Now, example 2, we're finding a whole amount this time. Okay? And this one's really interesting. You can do it with a proportion. I'm going to show you the equation way of setting it up, okay? Here's the equation way. Is you literally write, every word has meaning, okay? So I drop down my 60. Is in math literally means equals. Is means equals. 60 equals 48%. Well, I'm not going to use the percent form, remember, not in the equation. In the proportion I can, but not in the equation. What's 48% as a decimal? 0.48. Sorry about, I don't know why that part of the board just isn't cooperating with me today. So 0.48 of in math means what? Multiply times, and then we've got this mysterious set of words here. What number? So they're asking you, that means they don't know, you don't know. What do you call something you don't know?
Variable.
Or variable. Okay? So I need to figure out what that number is. So how do I get x by itself? Divide by 0.48. Do that to each side. Good job. And then all the math you have to do here is do what it says right here. 60 divided by 0.48. And what is my missing amount? 125 is my missing amount right here. Could I have set this up using a proportion? Shake your heads, yes.
Yes.
This is just another way of doing it. You could have done the equation here, okay? You could have done the proportion. What's your is number? 60. What's your of number? Yep, we don't know. What's our percent? 48. What's 48 always go over? 100. Would you have gotten the same answer?
Yeah.
Let's test our theory. 48x equals 6,000. Divide 6,000 by 48. What do you get? You got 125. So it's two ways to do the same thing. Okay? And really, I don't really personally care which way you choose. I just want you to get the right answer, whatever's easiest for you. Okay? Let's try this next one. Okay? 18%. Now, in equation form, we don't use 18%. We'll convert it back into its decimal. What's the decimal? 0.18. Of. What does of mean? Multiply. What number? I don't know. What do you want to call it? X is equals 16.2. Drop it down. There's your equation. 0.18 times x equals 16.2. How do I get x by itself? Divide each side by 0.18. Okay, this is where a calculator will be. We'll speed up your math here. Do 16.2 divided by 0.18. And it's exactly 90. Could we have done a proportion?
Yes.
Let's set it up. Okay, what's my is number? 16.2. What's my of number? X. I don't know. What's my percent? 18. 18 always goes over 100. So now I've got 18x equals 1620 divided by 18. What does x equal? 90. So it doesn't matter if you do an equation or a proportion.
No.
I just showed you it doesn't matter. You can get the right answer either way. Okay? So really it's just what are you comfortable with? That's what it's about. Okay? Let me stop that.